Before going to the session, I would like to take a minute to welcome Dr. J. Omana. It's a honor to introduce Dr. J. Omana, a dedicated academician, researcher, and a mentor in the field of data science and data mining with a specialization in healthcare applications. Dr. Omana holds a PhD in Information and Communication Engineering from Anna University, Chennai, where her research focused on data augmentation techniques using machine learning for insulin dosage prediction to mitigate adverse drug effects. She has a strong background in computer science engineering, having completed her MTech from BS Abdur Rahman University and BE from King's Engineering College. With over a decade of teaching experience, she is currently serving as an assistant professor, senior grade 1 in School of Computer Science of Engineering in Vellore Institute of Technology, VIT, Chennai. She has also been instrumental in curriculum development, accreditation coordination, and technical training for the students. Dr. Omana is certified professional in data analytics and programming with credentials from IBM, Oracle, Google, and NPTEL. She has actively contributed and participated as a resource person in AICTE sponsored FDPs and workshops on AI wearable devices in healthcare, machine learning algorithms, and R programming. Her achievements includes receiving a certificate of excellence of her workshops on machine learning and R programming, winning silver and bronze medal in Infosys Campus Connect programs, published over 20 research papers in reputed journals and conferences, and received CSIR funding for a seminar on parallel computing and hyper-threading technology. Today, we are privileged to have Dr. Omana ma'am with us to share her insights on integrating wearable and AI into healthcare technologies. Let us all extend a warm welcome to Dr. J. Omana, and I present the session to Dr. J. Omana for her insightful presentation. Ma'am, we welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mom, for your brief intro. I hope I'm audible, right? Yes.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yeah, thank you, Mom. Can you just, I'm sending a request to share my screen. So can you just please
Yeah,
enable?
sure, ma'am, sure. We can view the screen, ma'am.
Yes, Mom. Thank you. Good evening to everyone. It's indeed a great pleasure for me, and I would really thank the coordinators, Nitya Ma'am, for inviting me for this FTP. And myself, Dr. Romana, Assistant Professor Senior Grade from VIT, Chennai campus. So the session for today is transforming healthcare through wearable technologies and AI. So this would be the flow of agenda throughout the program, throughout the session. So I'll give a brief introduction and background for what is the purpose of AI and wearable device into healthcare. Then followed by that, we will see what are the different benefits and how we are supposed to integrate this into our healthcare process. And while integrating, there are so many challenges. If we, it is not possible to list out many, but still, there are few challenges and considerations which we are supposed to consider, and how we can implement this in further. Then I'll just try to highlight some of the few real world examples and future trends and innovations, what is there up to date. And followed by that, and what is the purpose of this session in faculty development program, like why we are into this particular session and all those things. Okay. So the main purpose of why we are using AI and wearable into our healthcare is if we integrate these wearable and artificial intelligence into healthcare, it actually highlights or it actually gives us so many different advantages. So first thing is we would be able to monitor the patients irrespective of the time, place, and everything. So the patient care and operational efficiency is actually high. Then followed by that, we can monitor the patient continuously so that real-time data can be provided. And then with the help of AI, we can analyze the data. Also, we can, while we analyze the data, we can do predictive analytics. So by doing predictive analytics, we would be able to improvise our diagnosis. Then we can provide personalized treatments, and also we can improvise the healthcare management in overall. So this is the main purpose of why we are actually learning about all these wearable devices and AI into healthcare. So we'll see. Before getting into the entire session, I would like to play a video. Hope okay. So that is just a small video about wearables in healthcare. So before going into what is actually wearables is, let me give a short definition about what is actually wearables. We all know what is a wearable device. Like there is some electronic device which we are actually own on the body, either inside or outside or on the body, which is able to collect information, and this information can be transmitted. So anything which can do this can be called as a wearable device. So we can have different examples for that: smartwatches, fitness trackers, medical devices, etc., etc. So you can see this picture, which actually denotes the wearable from 1970 to till now. Initially, it was calculator, then followed by that we had hearing aids. That was also a wearable device. Then we had Walkman, pager, Bluetooth headset, smartphone, and recent wearable device. What we have now is Fitbit, smartwatch, and even the glasses. Like we can have a glasses which can be worn for a blind people, which can direct the path we are supposed to take and all those stuff. So earlier it was initially we had these wearables just to track the movement. That is, we'll have the pedometers, right? So that was the initial wearable device. And moving forward, we had some sensors which was intermediate, right? Initially in the mid 20s, where we were able to monitor their heart rate, we were able to monitor ECG, and then we had some connectivity features like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, where this devices data can be transferred in integration with the smartphones and health apps. And now when you see the modern wearables, what we have right now, it can do everything, right? It can do blood oxygen levels can be monitored, sleep patterns can be monitored, and nowadays these wearables are also giving us the recommendations like what is supposed to be done, what is the next step, and all those things can be done through these wearables itself. So now currently, if you see the current usage of wearables are into different fields. It can do health and fitness. It can do the disease management, chronic disease management, and it can also assist us in patient monitoring. When coming to health and fitness, nowadays we are actually everyone will like to be very fit, very smart, and all those things. So we have so many apps. We have these smartwatches, which is being integrated with how many steps we take a day. So for walking, how many times or how many kilometers we have walked, and how much hours we have walked, and what is the fat level that is being burned today, and overall sleep level, and how fit we are, and how was the heart rate, pulse rate, and everything. So health and fitness, I think almost 90% of people are using wearable devices for this category. And then coming for the chronic disease management like diabetes or cardiovascular vascular diseases, those things can also be identified by using these wearables. And also coming to the patient remote monitoring, for example, nowadays every family we have both husbands and wife working, and in case if we want to monitor some person, some old person at our home, we just have the patient monitoring system where the elderly management people for the babies and for those who are suffering from different illness can be taken care. And this is some of the statistics which was taken from CAGR. Like if you see around by 2026, around 230.53 billion will be invested. It is like a global healthcare market. Okay, so 20.2% would be expected to raise around 2026 for the investment in wearables. And coming to the next half of our title, we have a title like healthcare, wearables, and AI. How we are going to incorporate this wearables and AI into our healthcare. So we saw what is actually basic introduction of what is wearable and what are the different wearables we have and what is the purpose of these wearables. Now we'll come to the second half, that is AI. AI, actually I have one more video to play for AI. So I hope we can see this video.
Stop wasting time applying for jobs on LinkedIn or Naukri or other online job portals. You know why?
Okay. This is responsible use of AI.
Is revolutionizing medicine. But how can this potential be used in the best possible way? For example, if a patient is worried about their health, they can quickly obtain initial diagnoses with a simple.
So this is just an example of how AI can be used in medicine. If a person is actually need some personalized recommendations, then they can use this AI so that basic complexities what they have, basic complications what they have, if they type in, then AI will help them or assist them in identifying what sort of problems they might have.
Check it out. The app also helps patients decide whether they should see a specialist, and if so, which one. The app's algorithm provides the doctor with valuable information for taking
So the app will help us to provide valuable information.
With rare diseases, and it can support the choice of the right treatment.
So at the right time, the right place, the treatment can be provided.
MRI images consist of hundreds of thousands of individual image data in which neural networks recognize patterns.
This is an example of an MRI image. So MRI image, each of the pixel, each of the image will have a more amount of information, which can be implemented through neural networks, and each of the neurons will be able to collect information, pass through the different layers,
and calculate the probabilities for certain diseases. To do this,
so finally it will give us the probability of identifying the right disease.
Previously trained with numerous MRI images and the associated diagnoses. The AI-supported assistance systems provide the doctor with important information for her own diagnosis. However, special skills are required to be able to deal with.
So this was a short video about AI in healthcare. So if we implement AI, what is the purpose of implementing AI in healthcare? Is it does through this image, I hope it will be visible. It helps us to in diagnosis of disease. It can also help us in drug discovery, personalized medicine. It can monitor in electronic health EHR. Then it can help us in clinical trials, and also it can help us in outbreak predictions. So by using AI, we can increase the accuracy. Also, the efficiency can also be increased. Then proactive care can be given for the patients. And then personalization of treatments can also be done. For example, when we take up a diet plan, there are so many numerous apps which are there in the Play Store. We'll have some intermittent fasting, or we'll have some other app to monitor or to keep in track of the amount of cholesterol intake and what all we are taking for that particular day. So what we'll do generally, we'll feed our information, whatever information we have, we'll feed it inside the app. And at the end of the day, we would be able to judge, or we will be able to calculate how much amount of cholesterol we have intaken and what is the percentage of cholesterol is there in our body, and all those other things can be done through this. So this is what AI actually does, right? So with the use of different machine learning algorithms and deep learning algorithms, we can train our system we can make our system to learn so many things, and based on that, obviously it helps us to do all the predictive analytics, and also it helps us to give various recommendations. So this diagram not only in assisting the healthcare process, or else not only doing predictive analytics, or not only doing the monitoring purpose, but AI also plays a major role in the various fields, because nowadays, if you see, our entire world runs with data. Right now, this data, if it has been monitored and if it has been analyzed properly, mainly in terms of healthcare, we can do numerous things in this particular field, because AI can play a role in patient and radiologists. This MRI images, diagnostics can be done, and through this diagnostic images, we are not finally telling that AI will do it 100% accurate, but it can help us, or it can assist the physicians in clinical decision supporting system. And also in case of research perspective, all predictive analytics. Then in case of laboratory, any validations to be done with the data, then SOP can be done. Then in case of drug, and the dealing can also be happen through cryptocurrency. Everywhere AI plays a major role. So what is the need of this wearable and AI into healthcare? So we'll see some of the purpose, what needs, as well as what are the different benefits of having the wearables and AI into healthcare systems. As I said earlier, the world is actually driven through data. So when we have a numerous amount of devices around us. If you right now, if we see around us, we can see numerous devices which can give us data. The laptop, what we are sitting, gives us so much amount of data. Then the mobile phone, what we are using, even the Bluetooth, even the Wi-Fi devices, the speakers, what we have, the TV, and all the other electronic devices gives us data. Either we communicate through it, or it gives us information about us, or it is giving information within us also. So these, when we see what are the key drivers, like why we need these things to play a role in healthcare. Why can't we just go meet a doctor, and why can't we get diagnosis? That was done earlier, right? Earlier, there was no wearable device, there was no smartphones, nothing. When we see our previous generations, they'll go meet a doctor, they'll take, or else there would be some handmade medicines, household medicines, or herbal medicines, what we take. If we have a stomach pain, then we'll take some vendayam, right? Fenugreek seeds, drink water, because it is due to heat. These are the traditional medicines we have. But why we are actually right now, if we see why we are so much into this particular topic, because various proposals, if you see DST, SCRB, everywhere you can see a separate call for proposal related to healthcare. Why is that? So I have listed out some of the key drivers of why this topic has become a very hot topic. Means it is due to the aging population. Think about the remote places and home-based assistance where the population is going high. We need this. Then healthcare cost. Nowadays, if you go for a normal, uh, I think I'm telling the current statistics, and if I'm wrong, please bear with me. Like even if we go for a particular small disease for the hospital, our bill shoots up high, right? So when you see the healthcare, the cost is going high day by day. And then limited availability of healthcare professionals, because sometime we would see the hospital board, like neurosurgeons, this is the time they are seeing the outpatients, cardiac so and so time. It's not like 24 hours we have all these surgeons available. So limited availability of healthcare professionals. Then when you see the advancements of MRI and genomics, all these are finding hard to solve or diagnose the exactly correct what problem is actually. Then when we think about pandemics, that is, we recently came across COVID, right? Corona, which was a drastic thing which we have ever seen. And then the demand for the personalized medicine. So these are some of the key drivers why we are actually going, or why we are actually into this AI and wearables for healthcare. And coming to see the benefits of why we can use wearables and AI is, as I said earlier, from the starting, I've been repeatedly telling this. Patient monitoring has become very, very easy when we have these wearables. We, at any point of time, if I want to monitor something for a person who is at home, I can do. that is continuous health monitoring can be done. So when we do this continuous health monitoring, all the abnormalities can be detected at an earlier stage. Instead of going at the last and identifying at the last minute, we can identify at the earlier stage. We can see one example for this. If the cholesterol of a particular person keeps on high, if it is in a higher range, then obviously over a period of time, we can see that there would be possibilities for cardiac arrest, right? Or we nowadays, the keeping stent in the heart has become very normal. So that is all due to this cholesterol, because high rate of cholesterol will affect the blood veins which pours into the heart. So then coming to the data collection, only when we can personalize the treatment, when there is some amount of data. Where there is no amount of data available, then analyzing and doing diagnosis and coming up with a personalized treatment is not possible. So data collection has become very easy. Then patient engagement. So obviously, if I have become a patient, then I would continuously keep monitoring my health, which has become easy through these wearables. And coming to the AI, as I said earlier, diagnostics can be improved. We cannot say that AI can replace a doctor, which is not possible right now. It is not. I won't say that it's correct, but assisting a doctor with this diagnostics can give even more accuracy, even more. To be exactly even more an accurate treatment can be done with the diagnostics of AI. Then predictive analytics can be done, and then operational efficiency, streamlining the administrative tasks and resource management can be done through this help of artificial intelligence. So we have already come across this term Internet of Medical Things, which is able to monitor health patient behavior, diet control, stress monitoring, then monitoring the social activities, preventing healthcare and continuous parameters, monitoring different therapies, drug, everything. All these things has become a great advantage of this Internet of Medical Things. So now you can see this last point, using healthcare monitoring for drug discovery and development. So this has become this one, as well as this drug delivery and monitoring we come across, because nowadays medicines can be delivered through this various apps what we have. The last point I would like to highlight this point, using healthcare monitoring for drug delivery. And if we use this AI into analyzing various amount of data, what we have, what happens previous that particular situation, or what happens afterward, and what was the previous history, those people those information will actually help us for the development of the various drugs. So you can see actually this helped actually meet increased demands from younger generation. So from virtual care to remote patient monitoring can be done. And now we see this Apple Watch and Fitbit, which is actually very, very prone to the younger generation. The younger generation people are actually using so many of these things to take care of their health. So ultimately, it helps us to enhance the patient care. And also, when you see a report which was released by Accenture, one second, sorry, actually. Sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah. So if you see the Accenture report which was released, they have told that wearable plays a major part in their wellness IoT solutions, because the wearables use of this wearables are shoots up high. So that is the reason they are actually stating that the major part of their wellness are in IoT solutions. And these are some of the conventional devices and wearable smart devices which right now we are using. See, from earlier it was a system, from that it has gradually, and now we can even have a wearable device which can be, like we can say it is an apple of an eye, right? So that is also possible. So how we can integrate? What are the different integration strategies can be done? So the complementary technologies are wearable device provides continuous real-time health monitoring, while AI can offer data analysis and predictive capabilities. So what happens is, if we combine this wearable device and AI, it can help us deeper health insights can be accurate, then more accurate diagnosis can be done, and personalized treatment plans can be. So when coming to the workflow integration, for what we are supposed to do, first, initially wearable devices can collect the healthcare data. It will transmit that to the healthcare providers like cloud platform where the AI analysis can be done. So the first step is for the workflow integration of wearables and AI is we have to collect the data and transmit the data to the cloud. Now the cloud, which is being deployed with this AI, okay. So AI system now can analyze the data in real time. So it can provide alert, it can give us the recommendations, and also it takes care of the analytics part. So once this AI process has been done, now this AI decision support can process the wearable data, and it can assist the physicians, the doctors in taking up the right decision support, and also it can transmit the data to the person, that is a guardian who's actually been signed up, so that they can get the recommendation of this particular patient. So this would be the overall a patient wearing a wearable device, data can be driven. Now this, for example, if this patient can be set up with a heart rate monitoring sensor and blood pressure sensor, the data will be again put up in the cloud. Again, this data, then the analytics here, data storage, analytics processing, all will be happen inside, and then patient health reports can be generated to the doctor, as well as the real-time alert and health reports can also be given to the particular patient, and also the diagnosis from the doctor can also be displayed over the mobile phones. So if you see the overall step configuration, we will set up, then we can track their activity, then data can be synchronized. It can be synchronized over Wi-Fi module or Bluetooth module. Then the raw data will be forwarded as such. Then after the raw data will be analyzed and processed. This analyzed data will be again forwarded, and this recommendation parallelly, when we analyze, that is pre-processing, after pre-processing, all the data will be recommended and forwarded, and at each stage the recommendation visualization can be taken. That is using various packages in Python. We can draw plots, we can visualize, and then final decision making will be done, and then which can be again synchronized with our wearable device. So this is what is happening internally with if we plan to set up a wearable device into our healthcare system. Right. So before going into the next case study, what I like to highlight here is, for example, I'll give you a short note about how, since my area is into healthcare, I'll give a short note of how we can take up a data, right? Those people who are actually into this particular field, there are so many electronic health records, electronic medical records that are available in the repository. We have different repositories like ICMR, gov.in, then Kaggle, and so many health repositories are there where we can import our data set. And after taking this data set, obviously pre-processing has to be done. We can either categorize that into 70-30 for training and testing, or 80-20 for training and testing. And then this pre-processing is actually, there would be so many different terminologies for this pre-processing. When it is in case of images, we'll have it different. In case of text, we'll have it different. So let me highlight some of the pre-processing techniques. In case if we are having redundant values, then obviously if the data set is high, we can remove the redundant values. And in case of missing values, that is, if a particular column is not, either I can take an aggregate of that particular column, or I can take the average of the same data, and then I can fill in that particular missing places. So after pre-processing, then we can train our system. So that this training phase is actually very important. So when we train with the proper model, then whatever the data comes in later in real time, our system will be able to, or model will be able to give a correct, accurate diagnostics. So these are the different case studies: remote patient monitoring, cardiovascular monitoring, and then post-surgical recovery. So these, if you see remote patient monitoring, we can have wearables and AI to monitor heart failure patients nearby. So what is the outcome is we can have the significant reduction of hospital readmissions, because only when the patients has been recovered completely, then we can discharge them. And also when there is an emergency alone, then the patient can be admitted into the hospitals. So This actually can be done by the timely interventions for the AI generated insights. Only because of this AI generated insights, significant reduction in hospital readmissions can be improved. Then coming to one more case study like cardiovascular monitoring. Patients with heart conditions can use the smartwatch to monitor their heart rate and rhythm. So what happens is AI will analyze this data continuously. So it will detect arrhythmias and other abnormalities. In case if there is any other abnormalities, what happens is in both the patient as well as the healthcare provider can be alerted. So when we go with this particular monitoring process, so early detection will happen because as soon as the heart rate goes high or the arrhythmias are there, if there is different abnormality in the arrhythmias, immediately this timely intervention can help us to save that particular patient. And then coming to the post-surgical recovery. So post-operative patients will have so many complications, and if we see that this has become also one of the problem for the death rate after post surgical recovery. There would be some vital signs which has to be monitored so that the complications can be addressed at the earliest stage. So these are the various case studies. So I would like to tell a particular example what we have patented right now in our VIT Chennai. Actually, we have developed a patent for this incubator system for neonatal care. That is the babies who are being, because sometimes if you see the news, there are news about some babies being some babies passed away due to the lack of what to say lack of facilities that has been provided inside ICU. The incubator facilities is not right, and we know sometimes earlier we came across like due to this rat, there was some babies that which has been passed away. So we actually came up with a design for an incubator where we have integrated this AI and we have incubated these wearables into inside an incubator, which does not harm the baby, because there would be some implications, right? Due to the sensors, if the sensor passes or if the IR rays passes, then there would be some complications in the health, and all those things are there. So based on all these things, we have designed, we came up with an incubator and which we have got patent. This incubator will have all the facilities to monitor the baby's temperature, the light, the humidity, everything. And based on that, automatic adjustments can be done for that incubator. Then based on these data, so whatever data has been collected from that incubator with the various sensors, heartbeat, pulse, temperature, then their blood level, oxygen level, humidity, everything. Based on these data, predictive analytics will be happening. And this predictive analytics will help, will identify over the period of time, as long as the baby is in an incubator, those data will help us to identify if there is any complication internally for that particular baby. So these insights will help assist the doctor to see what are the different complications that might arise in future for that particular baby. So recently we have got it patented from IPR. Okay, so just an example for how wearable and AI can help us in healthcare. Then coming to the different challenges and consideration, as we see, we cannot easily say that we can use this device to do so and so, which is, but still when we say so, there are so many challenges and consideration which we are supposed to consider. Major thing is data privacy and security, because every patient and every person will be very much aware of aware that the data should not be misplaced, or the data should not be accessed by anyone unauthorized. So that has become a major one, data privacy and security. And this is again a separate research area. How we can secure data in the cloud, how we can provide data privacy, how we can provide security, what are the different encryption mechanisms we have. And nowadays, all the healthcare providers are right now using blockchain also to make their data very secure. So we are supposed to use implementing robust encryption mechanism and a very high level of security communication protocols to protect our data while we are transmitting from wearable to the cloud, and again from cloud to the physicians, and from back physicians to our mobile, and all those data privacy. And then the next thing is interoperability. Why? Because we can say that I have a wearable device like watch, then I have a footwear which can detect something, and I have a wristband. So we are integrating different wearable devices so that they can into AI. And now this interoperability is also one of the major concern, because different systems has to communicate and work together seamlessly, so that the data what we take will be processed correctly and the data will be handled efficiently. So integrating the electronic health record is a major concern, because if you can see, when we do some researches, we'll take this electronic health records from EHR, from the Kaggle repository. That time we can see the way we need will be different. If you want to integrate two different data sets, and each data set will be of different types. So the integration is interoperability, and integration is another high thing, because diverse data formats will be there. If you take the pulse rate, it has a different measurement. Heart rate has a different measurement. Then coming to the glucose level, insulin level, different measurements. So we need the proper interoperability standard procedure, so that we can seamlessly get data efficiently. And then the user adoption. The people who are in city right now, or the younger generation, is actually adaptable for these things. But when you see the remote people who are there in the remote places, they are still not that much adopted with these things, because they don't trust technology that much. Because building trust in technology, it is giving accuracy and reliability. Instead of a doctor telling, and instead of a doctor, an AI, if it tells something, the patient's trust, or the persons at the remote places, their trust will not be 100%, right? So the user adoption is also one of the major challenges. And then the technical challenges, because you can see, if we keep on using mobile phones per day, we are charging it twice, or we are charging it single time if our usage is less. So when we come up with this wearable devices, the battery life we need to consider, then the accuracy, data accuracy, and then the algorithms what this AI uses. It has to be fair. It has to give all the outcomes, and of all the patient demographics should be correct. So they should, the choose of algorithm should be very biased. And then finally the cost. So as earlier, the cost was a key driver for this particular field. Again, the cost is one of the greatest challenges of using this wearable devices into wearable and AI systems into healthcare. So now we'll see some of the real-time examples, and this is the technology roadmap actually. Phase one was, initially we had some implantable, then we had low power, then the power we had a little bit high power, then it was thick, then it transformed to thin devices, then it becomes skin patchable devices. So when you see the technology rollback from phase one, phase two, phase three, phase four, it keeps on growing. So ultimately, if you see anyone at any time, at anything, any place, any service, at any network, everywhere this has been implemented right now. So if we can categorize this wearable devices into three groups, we can hear it as like near body, on body, and in body. Near body, like it can be located near an organism. Organism is nothing but a human being, right? Human being or any living thing. It does not contact to the external surface. It can be nearby, but it is not on the surface of the organism. That is what we call this near body. And on body, it will be located on the organisms, and in body, it will be implemented internally. And then we'll have this fabric or textile based, which I'll tell it at the final part. So the different terminologies, what we will be using, what we have used in this healthcare field is wearer, the person who is wearing, the living organism who is sensed by the wearable. Wearable is anything that senses the wearer, and wearable will have at least one media communication or storage capability. If any particular device has been connected to the cloud where the data has been stored, then we can categorize that as wearable. User is nothing but any living organism, an object, anything which can sense, which gives information. Then processing unit is somewhere, either it can be remote, or it can be internally, or it can be externally. So this is the overall conceptual model for a wearable. We'll have so many wearable devices. It can sense from the wearer. For example, let us say a person is here. It can sense from the wearable. It gives information. about the user can interact with the wearables, it asks for the user, then the data has been processed in and out from the user, it gives back to the user, then from the user the data has been gone, then again from the processing unit data can be collected and data can be given back to the wearables. So if you see on-body electronics, this is some of the case studies for each particular character, particular division category. I have taken one example. The first thing is on-body electronics, where a searching system can be implemented with cognitive impairment people. If a person is there with an impairment, then we can have a searching system for that patient. That is to find the patients in early stage. So we'll secure the personal information, then we can register the patient and quickly information delivery for the lost patient. Then through GPS and oscillator worn by the patient, the GPS can be in shoes, because the lost patient can at least wear the shoes, right, instead of any other devices. So this is over a diagrammatic representation. So I think this is actually disturbing us. We remove it back. Yes. So now if you see this diagram, a patient is there, like a people with the cognitive impairment, they'll be wearing shoes. In this shoes, GPS and oscillator has been incorporated. So GPS through information data management, and the information can be processed. Information can be given to the family or the care manager. Information can be given to the police, and information can be given to the volunteers of that area. So, and next, on-board electronics, we have this SlimB bar type sleep state analysis, right? This is so many people, the people into these sports, these people who are being taken care by a particular agency, they are actually using this. This is nothing, this was just a device to analyze our sleep state. So Bluetooth connection will be onto the tablet display, and this pulse wave sensor, temperature sensor, and accelerator will be there inside this particular package, and ECG electrodes will be there. So this information was taken from this link, where in the tablet we would be able to analyze our sleep pattern, ECG, and our normal heart rate. And then on-body electronics. This is what we already have: smart glasses, and then wearable watch, smart devices, and everything. All these things can become for on-board electronics. And we came across this news earlier, quite some time earlier. That is return of a missing cat, Leo Grant. A particular the owner of the cat actually implanted to his cat Leo. The name of the cat was Leo Grant, and which he was able to locate, and he was able to get back the cat in quite some time. So this was an example for in-body electronics. And then esophageal capsule endoscopy. So this has actually been in use, but still this has not been very familiar, because still so many contradictions was there earlier for this human body communication technique, which can transmit the signals between the apparatus as well as the human body. So the communication medium, the channel, will have a frequency selective digital transmission, which will help us to transmit the images inside. So this capsule, when swallowed, will be able to give all those images which can be captured within the body. And recently now, instead of, because this in-body, on-body, and then near the body, all these things now has gone back. Now if you see, there are smart clothes where the smart fabric manufacturer will have an electronic ink printer, which can be detected. All the analysis what we spoke till now, all these wearable devices, all these sensors can be actually implemented in this fabrics where which can be worn. This is we can see in November 2014 itself, Gartner Smart Clothing, then Traktia March 2015. So when you see the worldwide revenue, this was stated, the worldwide revenue will be around 900 million by 2026. So the smart clothes can monitor heart rate, it can monitor breathing rate, it can monitor muscle fatigue, then it movement in and then sweat, everything can be monitored. And you can see various things, sports and fitness. There, this particular smart smart clothing has been implemented, then in medical and military, then in lifestyle, normal lifestyle wear, in music, film industry, gaming industry, everywhere this has been utilized. So this is some of the statistics which was taken, and I have given you the link for the statistics, which if you see in worldwide market for smart fabrics, it is $2.2 billion. And the annual growth rate is actually 18%. And if you see the US market for smart fabrics, the growth rate is 27%. So this is some of the market segmentation of the clothes. And if you see the electronics in clothing, Levi, Nike, Ultimo, Under Armour, Adidas, everywhere, everything has been now been into this textiles. So what is the future trends and innovations can be done? When coming to this integration of AI and wearables into healthcare, if you can see the advanced sensors, biosensors and flexible electronics, then in AI advancement, deep learning, NLP, then LLM models actually now came into existence. Then integration, not now, it was earlier, now everywhere. If you see, all the AI advancements are being into use of this NLP. And then integration of other technologies. Yes, ma'am. I think someone is. Any doubts, ma'am? Please go ahead. Okay.
Ma'am, now it's muted. You just unmute your audio.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. And now if you see the various research opportunities, what we have, we can do it in diagnosis and treatments, we can have it in wearable technology, and we can do it in interdisciplinary studies also. And now what is the purpose of having this session as faculty development in faculty FDP? Is actually based on my perspective. I have listed out in 3 different things. One is teaching strategies. Like as a faculty, how we can incorporate this knowledge into our curriculum. So while we teach, while in case if we are teaching AI, or in case if we are teaching up any IoT, like what if we relate the on tech, if we relate the innovations which is happening right now in the current field, if we can integrate that into a curriculum, then it would be far better for the students to come up with the practical knowledge of what all things can be done. And then when we see the key resources, we can utilize this knowledge in developing research papers, or we can take up an online courses, or we can conduct workshops. How we can, because there are so much amount of data that is already there in the internet, which we can use those resources. We can come up with our own research mechanisms and all those things. And also we can, the collaboration opportunities, as I said earlier, if you see all various agencies, not only government, even the private agencies also are putting up a separate proposals for this healthcare part. So what are the interdisciplinary projects we can take up, and what are the different partnerships we can do? What are the different MOUs we can come up while for integrating this AI and wearables into healthcare? So this is what actually I just want to summarize, because wearable and AI can transform healthcare. We, instead of sitting up with the older technologies, right now, if we put up this wearable and AI into healthcare, it can do an enormous amount of change. And also, by conducting faculty development programs, it has helps us to use different tools, or when we attend these types of sessions, we'll come across, okay, what are the other challenges, what we can do, what are the other techniques we can use. So by doing all these researches, or by doing all the, or by learning all these things, we can come up with some solutions to improve patient care and creation of future medicines. So this is one of the quote which is a favorite quote of mine from Walt Disney. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. So with this thought, I'll stop my talk, and I hope at least 1 or 2 people from this session will be able to do some research of using this AI and wearable, and come up with some solutions for healthcare. And thank you. So in case if there are any queries, you can ask me. And I would like to get Just 1 second. I'll just post a link in our chat. I would like you to write any one impact takeaway. So 1 second. I'm not able to, like, ma'am, is it, I'm not able to post. Yeah, fine. I buy it. So I would like you to write any one impactful takeaway from today's session. Might be there would be so many experts other than me who are listening to the session. You who have been already into healthcare. So whatever knowledge from my side, I've just shared with you. So yeah, thank you. So any one impactful takeaway from today's session, what you have learned, which will be helpful for you to pursue your research in this particular field. Thank you. So smart clothes and in medical uses. IoMT, Internet of Medical Things. Biomedical wearables. Stroke precautions. Yes, if we are able to monitor our heart rate continuously, then we can predict the stroke at earlier stage. So that, yes, market growth, obviously, if you see wearables are shooting up high, right now the market rate is actually increasing day to day, every day, if we see. Okay. And actually, I hope the session was at least somewhat useful for everyone. And I would take time to thank the coordinators for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, ma'am. If there is any doubts, you can ask. And I've seen how one can from engineering college collaborate for doing work in drug domain. Okay, so it's I think it's one faculty. Okay. If you can actually come up with some ideas for the proposals, you can see various proposal government agencies who actually who actually declared some call for the proposals related to this, sir. Actually, so if you see and if you come up with an idea and if you submit a proposal, obviously, they will actually sanction, or else they will ask for further clarifications at some point, so that you can then start collaborating. This is in case of proposal with the idea. And coming for the drug domain, there would be so many pharmaceutical companies actually. We have to look into it. And I'm actually not very clear about this, but some whatever information I know, I'll share with you. What, because you can see the pharmaceutical companies, any companies which are coming up or which are giving up any call for this particular area where you can give them the solutions. Because as an engineering college faculty, we cannot go into developing the drugs, which is not possible. But we can come up with this AI, as I said, no, predictive analytics can be done, where we can use this AI, we can give them the recommendations based on the data what they have. So in that way, I think we can do some collaboration in case if the pharmaceutical companies come up with, or if the pharmaceutical companies call for that particular proposal. There are so many hardware devices actually, ma'am. You are asking, can you suggest some hardware for wearable implementation? Hardware in the sense, I don't know what you are specifically asking. We have various sensors which can do this health monitoring. So then you can use either Arduino board or Raspberry Pi, where you can connect the sensors to the board, and then from that you can develop a mobile app from where the information from one particular from information collected through these things can be transferred to the mobile devices, and in between this you can do your prediction process. I'm working in a pharmacy department and need you. Yes, madam, please, you can get my mail ID from the coordinators, and in case of any help you need, you can always mail me up. Also, please suggest some methods to make AI model lighter to put into wearables. I'm not pretty sure, but I'm not sure about your question. Are you asking me also please suggest some methods to make AI model lighter? I don't understand what is the meaning of lighter here actually. There are so many, algorithms can be implemented separately, or we can do stacking of algorithms, or we can use optimization, because if we see each algorithm will have, will give us different accuracy. And then to improvise our accuracy, or to make our diagnosis, or to make our predictions even more better, we can use different optimization algorithms. So when we use optimization algorithms, our prediction accuracy can go high. So that is one of the solution for your question. How one can make such wearable sensors at own? No, actually we can't. No, I'm not saying that we have to develop sensors on our own. We are integrating different sensors, which can help us to monitor our health, which can do this health monitoring. So we can integrate different sensors into one particular device, and that device can monitor our health. Right now, I can say one sort of example which I'm actually working on it. We are planning to develop a wrist-like watch. It's not like a smart watch. We are planning, it's a wristband which can detect diabetes through sweat, because this is under research. Still it's not been developed because it's under lab, because we need to segregate that amount of sweat, then from that we have to analyze diabetes, and also the hydration level, because there are so many apps which after we drink water we have to go click the cup level in the app to monitor our hydration. So from the sweat we can monitor diabetes, and from the sweat we can monitor hydration. And as a faculty, we used to sit up for a place for quite a long time. Apart from the class, we'll come again back, we'll sit in the same place. So to monitor, to make sure that we are not sitting in the same place, we call that as a sedentary lifestyle, right? To monitor this, we want all these to be incorporated as into a single wristband. So we are actually working on it, and we have not completed it fully. So it's under research. And we want all these things to be incorporated as a single device. So that is what we actually am trying to tell here to everyone. We cannot make a sensor, but we can integrate all these sensors, all these wearables into a single device, and we can incorporate our AI for predictive analytics, which can help us in healthcare monitoring. Yeah, thank you, sir, and thank you, ma'am.
Participants, do you have any questions to ask? Or otherwise, we will be providing Dr. Omana's mail ID for further clarification and questions. You can also just contact ma'am through mail so that you can get clarity of what your questions are. And at this juncture, on behalf of everyone over here, I extend a heartfelt gratitude to Dr. J. Omana ma'am for her valuable insight session on transforming healthcare through wearable technologies and AI. And ma'am, really, your expertise and engaging delivery have truly enriched uh, our understanding level on evolving this field, ma'am. And thank you so much for your valuable time, knowledge, and valuable insights. We deeply appreciate to your contribution on our FDP, and looking forward the same in the future interactions too, ma'am. Thank you so much for the wonderful contribution, and thank you once again, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Dear participants, we have our next session at sharp 7:25 p.m. And Dr. Partha Sarathi from NIT is going to present our next session. So I request all the participants to be on time at 7:25 p.m. You can take a leave at this time, or you can be on the same link to be continued. We are expecting you to be present at 7:25 p.m. sharp for the next session. Thank you so much.